Hello YouTube, so today I'm going to be telling you guys which star power is better for each and every single brawler. In this video, brawlers like Bonnie won't be included because she only has one star power, so it's kind of like, yeah, I can't really say much about that. And I also wanted to mention that every star power is useful in some way, and in some cases, the star power I say will be worse than the other star power that I didn't choose, but I'm just gonna be telling you guys which star power in general is better. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. For Shelly, Shell Shock is better than Band-Aid. Band-Aid actually can be useful. I don't think it's a bad star power, but I just feel like the slow with this gadget is just like very good and very useful. It's like a free kill. For Nita, I actually think both star powers are really good because Bear With Me is good in like Brawl Ball and stuff, and Hyper Bear is better in Heist. But if I had to choose one, I guess I would go with Bear With Me because although Hyper Bear is like extremely good in Heist, Bear With Me is like you can use it in like every single mode pretty much. Colt, I do think Magnum is better than the Slick Boots. But that's also my personal opinion. I've also seen a lot of pros that like slick boots over Magnum. So, although like I think the extra range is like more useful, like again, like this is preference for Colt. I think you can go with slick boots too. For Bull, I think the shield star power is definitely better than Berserker, but in Heist, specifically in Heist, Berserker definitely is better, but for the most part, Tough Guy is definitely better. For Jesse, I think Energize is definitely better than Shocky. I personally don't think Shocky is that useful. I think Energize is just like so much far more like superior. For Brock, I think Rocket number 4 is better than more Rockets, but I have seen some people say how in Heist with these more Rockets you can do like so much more damage on the safe with your super, but I personally like just think Rocket number 4 is a lot better in most situations. For Dynamite, I think Demolition is better, although Wookie Bear would not agree with me. I just feel like Dyna Jump is like, well, for most people, Dyna Jump is kind of useless. I feel like you just, yeah, like I said, you just kind of gotta be like as good as Wookie Bear with the jumps if you want Jump to be better. So yeah, Demolition for the most part is, for most people, is definitely more useful. For bow, Snare Bear is definitely better than Circling Eagle. Although, like, obviously on maps like Snake Curry, the vision is just very helpful and very broken. But again, like I said, for the most part, Snare Bear is definitely better. For Tick, I personally use the reload, but for you guys, I would probably suggest well oiled because it is definitely easier to use and you guys will probably use it a lot more often. Personally, my theory is as a tick, you will not be getting hit, so you do not need to heal up quickly. So I always go reload and just not get hit. But again, that's just me for so for the most part, or for most people, I think well oiled definitely probably would be better. For 8-bit, plugged in is far more superior than the boosted booster, but again, like there are situations where you would use the booster, like say for example in Heist, if in like maps like Safe Zone, this star power definitely could be more useful because all you want to do is damage, but for the most part, like I said, plugged in's definitely just better. You get that extra speed with 8-bit. For M's, I think Bad Karma is better than Hype. I've been like saying this for the past year when everybody's been using Hype for like every single M's player that I know used Hype except me. I always use Bad Karma because I thought it was always better. And finally people have been switching to Bad Karma, which I am happy about because I feel like I was right. But yeah, I think Bad Karma is better than Hype. I just think Hype is more situational, while Bad Karma is like you always do extra damage with like your shots. For Stu, I just feel like it's matchup and map dependent. Like basically, if you're facing range brawlers, Zero Drag is better. and if you're not facing range brawlers, I think Yasuo heal is better. But I mean, for the most part, I feel like you're gonna be facing non-ranged brawlers, so I'll just say Yasuo heal is better. But like I said, if you're facing ranged brawlers, Zero Drag is definitely better. Primo, a lot of pros actually use Meteor Rush, although in my personal opinion, I think El Fuego is better. I just think like, especially when you're facing tanks, I think if you have the Fire Primo star power, you just can't lose to a tank, and even if you're facing non-tanks, if you just hit them with your super, they're basically dead. But I mean, some people obviously do prefer Meteor Rush, which I can see why, but I personally think El Fuego's better. For Barley Star Power, now this like just like Colt Star Power, I think is very much preference. I think you can go with either, honestly. I just personally like damage more because it's just more fun and you can melt people down, but yeah, heal is definitely very good too, and I think this is like perfectly like preference and you can go with whatever. But yeah, I think the damage one is like my pick. For Poco, I think Screeching Solo is actually better than the Capo. The Capo, although is like, the Poco double tank and stuff, it's very broken and stuff, but I think Screeching like is still better in most cases because especially with in comp and draft, you can't really get Poco double tank anymore. So you're gonna have to run Poco solo, or if you guys are playing with like randoms, it's kind of like you guys really can't use the capo that much or as usefully. While Screeching solo is like you can always use it to be useful. So yeah, I think Screeching solo is better. For Rosa, Plant life would be better because you would only be using Rosa in grassy maps, but obviously if there's no grass, Thorny Gloves is better, but yeah, let's just say plant life because you guys won't be using Rosa on non-grassy maps. For Rico, this is like, okay, this is a little tricky because I think if you guys are like very skilled at Rico and like you guys know all the bounces and all that kind of stuff, super bouncy is the better star power. But if you guys don't really bounce your shots too much or like don't really aren't like that good at Rico and stuff, Robo Retreat probably would be better. So yeah, it's just like based on your skill level. If you're good, super bouncy is better, but if you're like not as good with the bounces, then Robo Retreat is probably going to be better. For Daryl, I think Steel Hoops is the superior star power. I have seen people use Rolling Reload and Heist, which I can see why, because you want to do more damage, but for the most part, Steel Hoops, I think, is going to be better. Even in like Heist, depending on matchups, I think Steel Hoops is better than Rolling Reload, so yeah, I think this is just the better star power. For Penny, the Balls of Fire is definitely far more better than Last Blast. It's just like you get so much area denial with the star power, while Last Blast is like when your mortar is destroyed, you like shoot cannons, which can be dodgeable, and there's a thing where your mortar has to be destroyed before your star power gets activated and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, Balls of Fire, like 100% for Penny. For Carl, I think this is preference and matchup. I think you can go with either. It's kind of like Power Throw is better against like long range and non-tanks, while Protective Pirouette is better against tanks and stuff. But okay, here's how this goes for me. I've always used the shield, like Protective Pirouette, but after I used Power Throw a little bit, I could not use Protective Pirouette because I got so used to like the Carl shots. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of tough for me to decide. I'll just probably go with Power Throw because I'm so used to it now. But yeah, if you're not that used to the first star power, then I think you could be fine with using Protective Pirouette. Jackie, I think, is matchup dependent. Counter Crush is better when you're facing tanks. Hard Hat is better when you're facing non-tanks, but if I had to choose one, I guess I'll still go with Counter Crush because you would kind of have to be getting close to people if you're a Jackie, and Counter Crush, when the other guys are like, when you get close, when they shoot you, they also take damage, and then you can kind of get kills more easily. Piper is also very map dependent. Ambush is obviously going to be better on like grassy maps, and snappy sniping is obviously going to be better in non-grassy maps. But if I had to choose one, I would probably just go with ambush because I'm not that skilled of a Piper, so I don't like hit that many shots. So snappy sniping is like really good if you hit your shots, and ambush is like you don't have to hit that many shots as long as you're standing in a grass. So I prefer ambush, but I could see why people would think snappy sniping's better. For Pam, Mama Squeeze is far more better than Mama's Hug. Like the damage with your turret is like very good if you just place your turret behind a wall because they can't really push up because of the damage and they would have to take the turret out. While for Mama's Hug is a decent star power, I think. You kind of heal like a lot if you get up close to people, but I just feel like the damage turret is too good to not use. So yeah. For Frank, I think the better star power is Sponge, but Power Grab definitely I think is a very underrated star power. I think it can be very useful depending on like the situation and matchups, but Sponge is probably more safer and like yeah, a lot safer and I guess that makes it better. BB, just like Colton Barley, I feel like, is preference. I think both like speed and shield are both fine, but if I had to choose which one's better, I guess shield would be better. Although I am more of a fan of speed, but I think speed is definitely better in modes like heist, but shield is just like you can use it everywhere. So yeah, shield probably I guess would be better. For B, well, B is a tricky one because everyone before was using the insta B load where you get two shots, two supercharged shots, but now people have moved towards honeycomb, which is you get a shield after you hit that one shot. And like it's kind of weird because the meta kind of shifted. Like in the meta right now, I would say honeycomb is definitely better, but in the meta before, everyone used insta reload, so it's kind of like I feel like this is dependent on the meta. But right, like as of now, I think Honeycomb is probably better. For Nani, autofocus I think is better than Tempered Steel, where you get that shield. But like again, you can use the star power in like some situations too. Like if you're on like a heist map and like you want to TP into their safe with your gadget, then the temper steel definitely probably is going to be better, but autofocus for the most part again like is more useful in a lot more modes and probably better. For Edgar, I will go with fisticuffs over hard landing, but this one's kind of tricky because in both cases, if you jump on them, you're gonna kill them. It's just like hard landing, you're gonna kill them faster, while fisticuffs, you're gonna kill them a little slower. And it's like fisticuffs, when you get the kill, you have more HP, while you kind of risk like not killing them because you don't do enough damage, while hard landing you probably will kill them more often, but you kind of risk like not getting your super back as quick as fisticuffs, but probably still fisticuffs for me. But it's this one's like kind of tricky. I think you can go with either. Either's like it's very similar basically. For Griff, I think keep the change is better than the healing one, but I have seen people use the healing one, but I just think keep the changes a lot easier to use basically, and it's kind of like Carl where I can't really use Griff without the star power anymore because I've used it so often. So yeah. For Grom, X Factor for the most part I think is better than Foot Patrol, but Foot Patrol I think can be useful in some cases, like say in Knockout, if you're gonna be saving your super until the end or something, then Foot Patrol might be better, but yeah, again, like I said, for the most part, X Factor is probably gonna be better. Mortis, I think Creepy Harvest over Coiled Snake for sure. Creepy Harvest, I think, is just too good of a star power not to use. And, like, although Coiled Snake, I guess, could be useful, but I just feel like Creepy Harvest is a must for Mortis, so yeah. Tara, this is also very preference. I think Healing Shade is better as of now, but I've also had points like in my playing time during like with playing with Tara where I thought Black Porter was better than Healing Shade. So it's kind of again like this one you can kind of go with either. I think either's like really good, but Healing Shade for me basically. For Jean, Magic Puffs I think is definitely better. Spirit Slap is I think good as a if you're going like a solo lane or something and you're playing kind of playing by yourself, but Magic Puffs is actually like way too good to not use. This star power is basically what makes Gene broken. For Max, Supercharged is definitely better over Run and Gun, but I will say Run and Gun is definitely more fun. You kind of just keep spamming and like moving up and stuff. But yeah, although it is more fun, Supercharged definitely is better. For Mr. P, Revolving Door is probably better than Handle with Care. I just don't think Handle with Care is like that much value, and like Revolving Door is just a lot better than Handle with Care. It's just like, yeah, I don't see the value in it that like too much value in it personally. So yeah, Revolving Door. For Sprout, it's also very map dependent. On like grassy maps, photosynthesis is better, while if there's no grass, overgrowth is obviously gonna be better. But I guess overgrowth technically is better because you can use it on grassy and non-grassy maps, but I will say on grassy maps photosynthesis is definitely better, but yeah. For Byron, oh, I actually never knew the Byron Star Power was called Malace or something, but this one is better than the injection one. Injection is like it's good if you're gonna be healing your teammates a lot. So basically, if your Vine play style is you heal your teammates a ton and you just sit behind them and just keep on healing them, then the star power is definitely better for you. But for most people, I don't think they heal their teammates. I think they just shoot their enemies. So yeah, the star power is gonna be better. For Squeak, Super Sticky is definitely better than Chain Reaction. It's just like, if you hit your super and they're slowed, it's just kind of like a free kill or they have to fall back. So it's just like, basically, Chain Reaction is not a bad star power necessarily, although I don't think you would use it that often, but Super Sticky is just like too good of a star power not to use. For Spike, Curveball is definitely better than Fertilize, but again, like Fertilize is a good star power too. Like, say you're facing tanks and you want to get up close, Fertilize might be better, but for the most part, it's just Curveball's so good. It's just so broken. Crow, I think extra toxic over Carry On Crow. It's just like with Crow, you just want to keep them from healing and keep them kind of low instead of doing damage. That's kind of like Crow's role. And while he's just like keeping them low and stopping them from healing, he can also like make them do less damage. And that's just like it's just like Crow's not going to be the one getting kills is the thing. So it's kind of like Carry On Crow is can be good, but it's just extra toxic is makes him more useful to the team. Leon, I think Invisiheal over Smoke Trails. I have seen people use Smoke Trails before, but I personally just don't agree with that. For Leon, like, I played him so much, and I can probably say, like, I'm a pretty good Leon, so I think Invisiheal over Smoke Trails every single time, no matter what. So, yeah. For Sandy, I think Root Sands over Healing Winds. Like, Healing Winds, I've seen some people use, and especially all the Sandys that I get as randoms always have Healing Winds. But I just feel like Root Sands is just so much better. I don't know, that's just like my personal preference. It just keeps them from healing. And like, they have to get out of like the sandstorm basically. And like, it's just like free control. So yeah, I think Root Sands is better, but it's a little preference, I guess, but yeah. Amber Wild Flames is better than Scorching Siphon. It's just like the reload I don't think has been that useful ever, and just standing in your puddle and charging your super like the Wild Flames. I think basically charging your super without hitting the enemies makes like that brawler a far more better than like what she used to be, basically. So yeah, I think Wild Flames is definitely better. Meg, I think Force Field over Heavy Metal for sure. It's just like, well, basically, the shield after she pops makes her kind of hard to kill-ish. Plus, she can kind of stay aggro and get another mech. While Heavy Metal, again, like, it's very situational. You have to be on top of someone when you explode. And, like, it's just, like, too situational in my opinion. And, like I said, for what I'm saying right now, I'm just gonna be saying the better star power in general, and force field is that over heavy metal. For Gale, the stun Gale is definitely better than the slow Gale. It's just like I think both like star powers are actually very, very good, but the stun I think is just so broken. I feel like it's actually one of the most broken star powers in the game. And like although the slow like star power for Gale is also very good. The stun is just like so broken not to use. So yeah. For Surge, Serve Ice Cold is better than to the max, like you guys thought, but I mean like I guess to the max you would have to be using in modes like Showdown, so again, like for the most part, Serve Ice Cold is definitely better. For Colette, I do think Mass Tax is better than Push It, but I also do think it's preference. I personally think Push It's actually quite good, but although like Mass Tax, like Colette's basically used the most in Heist, and Mass Tax is definitely probably better than Push It in Heist, but on other modes, I think Push It definitely, I can see Push It being like better, but since Colette's best mode is Heist, and like put Mass Tax is also good in like every single mode. I will just choose Mass Tax over Push It. For Lou, I think Super Cool is better than Hypothermia, but again, like for this too, it's kind of like both are kind of good. It's just like it's kind of preference kind of thing, but Super Cool I think is the better star power for me. For Colonel Ruffs, I think Wall Break is generally better than the heal, like the HP one, but again, like HP one situationally could be better. Say like you're in knockout and you have like a thrower on your team and you want to boost their HP up because knockout's just like a mode where, like all six people stay alive until the very end and then you just throw your supers and stuff. But besides that, I think like I said in general, just the wall break is probably gonna be better. So yeah. For Bell, positive feedback over Grounded. I personally, but like Grounded, I just never seen anyone use the star power before, which is why I'm saying positive feedback. But again, since no one basically ever used it, who knows if the star power actually might be very good. But like I could see it being good if the Bell can just hit like every single shot and hit every single super. But again, like I said, since no one really uses it, who knows? So positive feedback for now. For Buzz, Ice Sharp is better than Tougher Torpedo. It's just like you get your super a lot quicker, and for Buzz, as long as you get your super quick, he's gonna be like you can go on anyone and kill anyone kind of thing. So yeah, Ice Sharp definitely. But like Tougher Torpedo obviously could be better against like tanks, but yeah. For Ash, First Bash is better than Mad as Heck. It's just like, I mean, I'm just gonna keep it simple. This is just like the better Ash star power. Everybody uses it. Yeah. For Lola, Improvise is definitely better than Sealed with a Kiss. I don't think the healing is very useful because it's so little. I would rather just shoot the enemies basically. So Improvise over, yeah, Sealed with a Kiss. For Fang, again, this is very situational. It's like fresh kicks is better if you're in modes like Brawl Ball, but again, if you're on like Bounty or something and you're facing like a Piper, Divine Souls is gonna be better. But I mean, I don't know which one I would choose to be better. Hmm, I guess I'll go with fresh kicks because it's more fun and I like using it more, but Divine Souls, I think you would be fine with getting to. Eve, I think Happy Surprise over a Natural Order. It's just like this star power. with the star power as Eve, if you hit your shots, there is just no way you lose, basically, as an Eve if you hit your shots with the star power. All while like even if you hit your shots with a natural order, there still is a chance you lose, but like this star power I think is just so broken and like I think Eve needs a nerf just personally, but yeah, Happy Sun Surprise is just like so good. For Janet, it's like also map dependent. If the map is very grassy, then stage view is better, but if there's no grass, then vocal warm up is gonna be better, but I guess I would have to go with vocal warm up then because again, it's just not situational. You can use it in every single map, but stage view is still definitely better on like grassy maps. So yeah, that's the end of the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.